Welcome into the Ranch Sitdown. My guest today, the great Kyle Hutton. Hello, buddy.
Wait, is there another Kyle Hutton?
No,
the great Kyle Hutton. I love that.
By the way, the Scottish soccer player Kyle Hutton.
100%.
Have you got that?
You know what? At some point, I want to sell him the domain because I have it. Right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I feel like he would need it.
I'm waiting until he peaks at his career, and then I'll sell him the website. Yeah.
So why don't you play us a song, and then we're going to chat a little bit. Tell us what we're going to hear, Kyle.
This is a recent. This is a pretty recent song. My wife and I were going to go out to New Mexico to Michael Hearn's festival because all my buddies were out there playing, and we got the word at the last minute that we had some issues with childcare and that kind of stuff. We weren't going to get to go, so I just went out on the back porch with my guitar and pouted. Basically, pouted. And yeah, exactly. And so this is what we came up with. So I'll try this one out. I wish I was headed west to Michael Hearn's tonight. I hear the weather's nice out there and they have a real big time. The way that things keep stacking up, well, I just can't see how. I sure thought we'd made it there by now. But I'm here trying to make a living and not let go of a dream. Trying to make some sense of all my lonely melodies. I don't mean to sound ungrateful, I'm just trying to make some peace with where I am and where I thought I'd be. Well, most nights it don't hit me like it's hitting me today. The price of taking chances and the price of choices made. If I said I never wondered, darling, that would be a lie. The truth is I wonder all the time. Well, I'm here trying to make a living and not let go of a dream. Trying to make some sense of all my lonely melodies. I don't mean to sound ungrateful, I'm just trying to make some peace with where I am and where I thought I'd be. I can almost hear their old guitars singing underneath the western stars. Well, I'm here trying to make a living and not let go of a dream. Trying to make some sense of all my lonely melodies. I don't mean to sound ungrateful, I'm just trying to make some peace with where I am and where I thought I'd be. Yeah, I don't mean to sound ungrateful, I'm just trying to make some peace with where I am and where I thought I'd be. Well, I wish I was headed west to Michael Hearn's tonight.
Very nice. Kyle Hutton, singer-songwriter, host of Real Life, Real Music. So basically, you were doing this before anyone else, honestly.
Well,
what gave you the idea?
I told the guys we need to do a T-shirt that says "I was content when content wasn't cool."
That's great. That's right.
Yeah, man. I mean, what gave me the idea originally was just being a kid of the really into music in the 80s, and you've got MTV Unplugged and VH1 Storytellers, and I, even as a young kid, with my parents' records, I was digging into the liner notes and figuring out who wrote the songs and who played on them. And I'm just genuinely interested. You know what I'm saying? Like music is a lens that I look through to understand life and understand even myself a lot of times. And so I don't know, it's just Real Life, Real Music is kind of a continued deep dive for me as a student of the craft of not only songwriting but music. So,
and the cool thing about it is you're doing a show from a songwriter's perspective, and it's most of these are guys like me, radio guys that wish we were songwriters. So it's a whole different side of it, and I think that's what really keeps it interesting and relevant.
Yeah, like when we first did this thing, I mean, our very first year, and it boggles my mind that we're coming up on this, but in March of 27, it'll be 20 years.
Yeah.
And the first year we did it, Krager, the Band of Heathens, Walt Wilkins, I could go down, Max Stalling, I could go down the list of my buddies that I got to come do the show. But we didn't even put a year on the poster. Because who's thinking like it's going to matter what year this was?
Right.
I mean, like this thing's going to last 6 months tops.
Right.
You know what I mean? But what's been cool is, number one, the people that come buy tickets to come to the tapings of these shows, that funds it along with the sponsors, and as well as I do. I mean, that's an up and down roller coaster. Like some years it's like, oh my gosh, I think we're going to be able to make it, and then some years you're like, I guess we're going to put some money in. You know what I mean? Yeah. How much do I love this? Right? Yeah. So I guess. I don't know. I guess I underestimated the number of people that maybe love music as much as I do because they keep showing up. And so as long as that happens and the artists dig it, they like to sit down and have an intimate conversation and talk about why they do what they do, then, I mean, we're going to keep doing it because, I don't know, at this point, it's like, how long can we keep this thing going?
Do you ever see it ending?
I'm at the phase of my life right now that I've just started to think about that is like, okay, and I don't know the answer, is real life, real music something that was just unique to me as a human being, and at some point that has, law of diminishing return sets in, and we don't, and we I would definitely be a fan of going out on top. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's going to end, is it year 25, year 30, whatever, and you go, thank you very much, good night, Right. Or what I would love, man, is I would love, the kind of the foundation that we've built and the archive of recordings and videos and that kind of stuff. Maybe there's somebody that kind of feels like I do about it. That's, maybe they're playing the open mic at Steamboat right now, and they end up, coming in and continuing. I hand the baton off, and we just keep it going as an exploration of music. I don't know.
That's an interesting concept.
Yeah,
an idea. So, who have been some of your most memorable interviews?
Yeah, for different reasons. I would say that one of them where, like, I kind of, maybe we were 2 seasons in or something like that, and it was the first time I got to interview, like, legit one of my heroes, like shaking at the deal, right? The first concert my dad ever took me to was at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, and it was the Gatlin brothers.
Yeah, and
Larry Gatlin came and did the show.
That was the one.
And so, that's one, because that was kind of like a stake in the ground where it's like, hey man, this is a real thing. Because I mean, like Roger Krager did the very first one. We wrote songs together in college. You know what I mean? Like he's amazing, but he's a friend and a peer, right? But to start to get the recognition, both for Do-Si-Do as a venue at the time, and then for our show, that we could get somebody that's going to come in and give a firsthand experience of what it feels like to have Elvis Presley cut a song, or to be a pallbearer at Johnny Cash's funeral, and to capture those stories. And then the other thing that you don't think about, I mean, I was not thinking about it when we started this, was when you have longevity of anything, life happens.
Yeah.
And so at this point, we have what I think are some of the most, tender acoustic presentations of songs from, Hal Ketchum and Billy Joe Shaver and B.J. Thomas and Mickey Gilley, and you know what I'm saying? Like that aren't with us anymore. And so, what happens with those, I have some ideas, and there's some, my hope is that at some point all of those wind up in like an educational institution that can hang on to those and kind of archive them and make them available to students and that kind of stuff.
Songwriting kind of students, You ever think that you were nervous on that Larry Gatlin show because the Gatlin brothers meant so much to your dad?
100%. Yeah. And same thing with same thing with B.J. Thomas, you know, and Whispering Bill Anderson and some of those guys that I've had the opportunity to sit with. You know, when it's records that, you know, your dad was putting on while he was making waffles on Sunday morning, you know what I'm saying? And then like you're sitting across from him is like really a very surreal moment. Yeah.
It is. Absolutely. You're what a lot of people call a songwriter. Walt Wilkins, Roger Craig, Perfect Stranger covered your songs.
Yeah.
What is that like to hear some of your friends and heroes sing your songs?
Yeah. I really, I'm trying to remember exactly when Walt and I wrote for the first time, but, you know, like to me, he's like the John Steinbeck of, you know what I mean? Like, and
it's like a religious experience
right,
listening to a Walt Wilkins show.
100%. And we wrote a song, that, you know, I mean, I went into it thinking, you know, number one, I want to write a song with Walt Wilkins. Right. And then number two, I'll record it and put it on a project and it'll do whatever it does. Right. And then when he called me and said, hey man, I just cut that song and put it on a record.
Oh, you didn't even know he was going to do it until he did it.
I didn't know Walt was going to cut that song, and he put it on a little kind of specialty record that he did, and then it ended up going on. He did like a double CD called A Good Ramble, and it's a song that we wrote called What I Dreamed Last Night, and man, just you know that Walt Wilkins is out there, you know, on the road somewhere, and maybe your song's in the set list that night that y'all wrote. That to me. There's a lot of times where you're like, man, am I a song? When do you get to call yourself a songwriter? Like how many songs, right?
Yeah. Is it 100? Is it 200?
There's not an answer, I don't think. But for me, that was a huge. I'll tell you another one for me that involved the ranch was we had cut a record with Lloyd Maines. It was my second record that we did, and this was like back in 2001. And my very first interview at the ranch there in the stockyards. We did the interview, and I was walking out, and I don't remember who the DJ was at the time, but I'm walking down the cobblestone streets, and you know, y'all have the music piped, or at least at the time it was piped into the down into the stockyards. I'm walking the cobblestone streets of Fort Worth, Texas, and in the most country song I'd ever written called Cowboy Tears comes on, and I just stood there on those streets, and I'm like, holy crap, cool man, feeling. This is great. So, and you know, that happens to me about as often as I hit a good drive in golf because I suck.
Golf like I golf.
But you know what I'm saying? You have those moments. You have those moments that you're like, hey man, I guess I guess I'm part of the club, you know?
That's really cool. 1999, Kyle Hutton releases a self-titled album, and there was a song called Run Like Hell Is Knocking. And man, instantly became a fan.
Wow,
like,
thank you.
That was one of those. It was like, this is the coolest thing ever.
Man, thank you.
Do you even remember the words of that song? I haven't
thought about that song in a long time. I mean,
it's
maybe
just such a cool song.
Maybe I remember it. Thank you. You know, like I grew up going to church, and you know, especially you know if you're, I was born and raised Southern Baptist. Okay, so it's pretty.
Hellfire and brimstone.
It's pretty. You know, one time, you know, I had no access to sound equipment or anything. My parents were not musical or whatever, and but my mom did the books for the church, so she had a key. So we went up one time and got into the sanctuary and plugged into the deal, and the preacher came in. I was playing George Strait in the Baptist church, and that didn't go over so well. But anyway, the song Run Like Hell Is Knocking at Your Door was kind of a play. I wanted to see how close I could get to the line to making all the Baptists mad. So the chorus goes, you better run like hell, as if that's the sentence. And then it's is knocking at your door. So it's like actually a real positive, you know, kind of message, but can I at least make somebody uncomfortable for a few seconds?
And that was the thing. It was just that cool little phrase that, oh, okay,
yeah.
That's when you know it's a good song.
Well, thank you.
It really is.
Thank you. I appreciate you pulling that one out.
Do-si Do, how are they doing?
Man, it's been a rough.
Yeah.
It's been a rough season at Do-si Do. And, you know, I mean, it's out there online. I mean, you can go figure out what happened. But my very good buddy and music supporter, Steve Said, passed away suddenly in a way that nobody could have expected. He had a brain injury in an accident. We had a hurricane down there in that area, Hurricane Beryl that came through, and he actually got struck by a tree, and it was falling. And anyway, we were lucky to have him for the time in between the accident and when he passed. But yeah, man. Unfortunately, in my family, we've had some very close. People close to us in the family that committed suicide, and so unfortunately, that's not an unbridged subject around our house. And I would just say, man, love the people around you, because we don't know what's going on in the hearts and minds of everybody.
Answer that phone call.
Yeah.
Tell everybody.
Yeah, man. And then when something happens because you can't make people's choices for them, then you just love all the people around them.
Yep.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So Do, they're forging ahead. The family, Steve's wife and son are kind of at the helm of things, and we're continuing to do tapings there.
Okay.
And it's there's been a lot going on. It's kind of been a bit of a whirlwind, but I think things are kind of starting to find their pace.
Good. I'm really glad to hear it.
Yeah. Thank you.
You want to do one more song for us, Kyle?
Yeah.
You don't mind?
No, I don't mind at all. Let me think about. I don't think I should try to do that song you requested.
Maybe too long ago.
Okay, I'm going to try it. All right, because
nobody's
requested that song at first. So, it's called "Runs Like Hell Is Knocking at Your Door." And listeners, you've never heard it, so you won't know if I mess it up anyway. So, well, here he comes again. That old devil's closing in and waving your weakness right in front of your face. And he knows he's gonna win because you just can't turn away. Well, before you give in, there's something I've got to say. You better run like hell is knocking at your door. You better turn your back and then don't turn back no more. You gotta leave it all behind because you know just what's in store. You better run like hell is knocking at your door. You know the devil's pretty sly, and he knows just what to do to make you jump like a puppet on a string. But I think you're gonna find that if you'll call upon the Lord, you'll find the speed you need to outrun anything. You better run like hell is knocking at your door. You better turn your back and then don't turn back no more. You gotta leave it all behind because you know just what's in store. You better run like hell is knocking at your door. Yeah, you better run like hell is knocking at your door. There it was.
Man,
I found it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Kyle Hutton, thank you, sir, so much.
Thanks for having me.
Man, appreciate you taking the time. I know you're busy out here at Music Fest, and thank you.
Thank you, man. Thanks for what you're doing.